Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Enrique, back at it again with another review. Today, I have here the legendary SV650, which is funny because I was literally just talking about this in a previous video I filmed just yesterday about the perfect motor, or like perfect sized engine that you need for everyday bike, whatever you think that is. I kind of said in that video, leave a comment on what your favorite motor is or what's the most practical motor. But I did mention a couple of times the SV650 from Suzuki, a bike that has been around since 1999, I think it is. And though it has had cosmetic changes, different looks, different styling, there was an S model that was more sporty with some fairings and slightly pushed back foot pegs. The SV650 engine, as it is, has relatively stayed the same. So I got my hands on one here to play with, and we're going to do a little overview of this because I have tried an SV650X, the more cafe styled one. I've tried one of those. For me personally, it was a bit too cramped just because of the nature of it. It had like clip-on handlebars and the foot pegs were a little bit more pushed back, kind of like how the SV650S's were from the 2000s. Way more sporty feeling and all that, except for this one was more retro cafe, so it had a little bubble windscreen up front, some clip-on handlebars, like a leather seat. It was really, really pretty, but man, that thing really hurt my hips, and I'm just not a kind of sportier seated position kind of guy for riding bikes. This is the standard naked 2025 Suzuki SV650. So let's get into it, shall we? So this is, like I said, a 2025 Suzuki SV650. It needs no introduction, I don't think, in terms of what it is, but a brief summary. We have ourselves a 645cc, I'm pretty sure it is, 90-degree V-twin engine. It is a 6-speed manual transmission, just like it should be, and it is outputting 73 horsepower, and I think it is 45 foot-pounds of torque, but I will leave all the specs for the bike down below in the description. It has a 30.9-inch seat height, and if I was at a stop sign or anything like that, I'd kind of show you guys that fits me pretty good. I stand at 6'1" and a bit, and I can easily flat foot the SV, but with my feet up on the pegs as it is, you can see that there's just a little bit of bend here, a little bit of sweep. The pegs don't sit necessarily directly underneath you. You're not kind of sitting in a computer chair kind of style seating position. You're a little bit more pushed back, but not that much. And the handlebars here, like I said, the SV650 XA that I rode, that one had clip-on handlebars. These are just the standard bars. So the seating position is way more upright. You're kind of taking the brunt of the wind and everything that comes at you. You have no fairing protection or nothing. And yeah, you got 17-inch tires, front tire and rear tire. You got dual, I think it's 280 mil. Again, these specs will be in the description, but I think it's 280 mil rotors up front, 2-piston caliper with ABS, and then in the rear you got a single piston caliper with also ABS. The wet weight of this bike, fully gassed up with all the fluids, oil, and everything in it, is, I'm pretty sure it was 440 pounds. Pretty lightweight bike. And that kind of fits it, the nature of what the SV650 is. It's a very neutral seated bike, and man, it really makes lovely power. I've only been on it now for the past 20-ish minutes or so, and it is awesome. I really, really like it. And it's one of those motorcycles where I feel, you know, you could pass your safety course and get yourself on a 250, 300 or something around there for sure. You know, anything 500 and below is a great starter bike, just to kind of learn the fundamentals of the throttle and the clutch without getting yourself into too much trouble. But there are loads, millions of people that have chosen an SV650 as their first bike, and I can't blame them for that one bit. It is deadly smooth. It shifts really good. Now this is only got 205 kilometers on the tack because it is brand new from work, and I'm getting a chance here to play with it. Where are we going, boys? I wonder. Going to highway, are we? Woohoo! Kind of lost my train of thought there. Sorry, guys. But yes, it is very smooth on the throttle. The clutch feels fantastic. And the gears are buttery smooth. They shift flawlessly. I know it has a slipper clutch as well as that kind of clutch assist. So on hills and on general takeoffs, it makes the clutch input really, really smooth and kind of gets you along effortlessly. So that's really good. It's, like I said, really good for new riders. Man, we're just doing some pulls here, aren't we? We also have here a 14.5 liter gas tank, and I will be giving you guys some numbers maybe in the description on my fuel mileage on this thing. Obviously, it depends on how hard you're ripping it. Like we are moving right now at a good clip through these little back roadways through Waverly. But I will give you some numbers when I have gone through a tank of gas on this guy. But from what I understand, the SV650 is very pleasant on fuel range. You can get quite a bit out of a little tank of gas on this guy, and you can go quite the distance. So that is fantastic. I'm just following you. I'm recording a video right now, so. Also, you guys are going to leave me on the highway. Oh, come on, guys. The SV650, while it does have a sporty... Oh, you know what? No, this is great. It scoots just along just fine. I mean, I'm hanging out here with a 900cc parallel twin and a 900cc triple. And we're handling everything just fine. But once I get off the highway here, I will explain to you guys just a little bit more of the history of the SV650 and why it is such a legendary motorcycle. Holy shit, Cam's first video. It's just a cameo. Ha ha ha. Ha. No! I'm gonna go that way to get out of here. Are you gonna go that way? Like just out here? Alright. I will see you tomorrow. Anyways, yes, back to the SV's stomping grounds, the urban jungle. So basically, after coming off the highway there, I can tell you guys, can the SV650 do highway? Of course. Absolutely. And it could probably do it all day, but I don't think you would be able to do it all day. Because, good lord, my neck. With no fairing protection of any kind on this 2025 SV, you definitely feel it all slamming you right in the face. But man, it has such fun power. Like, it had no problem on the highway that entire time. I was just moving along, going 125 the entire way. If you needed to roll on to the power to get around anyone, you totally could do that. And while we're in the suburban jungle, we can talk about the things that I have skipped over for a second, like brakes. the brakes work good. They got plenty of stopping power. Obviously, as you brake in the bike more and more and you brake in those stock pads, the braking power will get a little bit stronger, because at the moment, while they are good, they're a little vague. Sitting here at the light, I will show you guys that I do have a pretty decent bend in my legs. And yeah, the seating position feels great. The pad on the seat is fine at best. I won't be sitting in the saddle on this thing for anything more than 45 minutes, I'm going to assume, for today and tomorrow when I have it. But at the moment, it feels just fine. There's not a lot of room to move back and forward. You do have a little bit of a hump in the rear to slide into when you're up on the highway or anything like that, and you just want to push back a little bit. He was psyched to see this all blue SV650. Now, really quickly, I did want to talk about the... Oh my god, I am in rush hour traffic today, aren't I? I did want to talk about the history of the SV650 and why it is considered to many as one of the best... Oh my good lord. See if I can get in here. As one of the best starter or just motorcycles, period, and one of the best engines that you can have in a bike. This V-twin makes really nice power, as I've already stated, and it is super smooth. But the main thing that the SV650's 90-degree V-twin is known for is reliability. Well, maybe not more people, but a lot of people have put a lot of kilometers, miles on these V-twin engines. When I reviewed the V-Strom 650 2 years ago, that V-Strom is also sharing this V-twin 650 engine. And that bike had, right before I gave it back to Matt, I think we rolled it over, and when I gave it back to him, I think it was at 103,000 kilometers. And he took it in for a service, kind of a major service. He was getting the valves checked, he was getting an oil change done, he was getting the fluids flushed, like coolants and stuff. And the techs, after everything was said and done, came back to him with nothing but good things to say. They were like, the valves were barely out of spec, and internally the engine is looking very good. Actually, somebody left me a comment on that video and said, I have a V-Strom 650 with 165,000 kilometers on it, still going strong. And yeah, there's no surprise there. These engines are so reliable, so fun, they're just awesome. And that's kind of what happens when you have a model that has not changed engine-wise, maybe internally, for pretty much 30 years, just about. I mean, the first SV, like I said, came out in 99, and they are still making the SV to this day. While the V-Strom 650, I think it's still in Suzuki's lineup, but now they're on the V-Strom 800, and they also have the 1050 to replace the V-Strom 1000 and the V-Strom 650. The SV650 at the moment doesn't look like it's going anywheres, and that's just because it's a legendary model that has stood the test of time, it seems. My goodness, I have not come down this way in a while. What are they doing over here? Tearing up the road. And I've only been on this bike now for maybe 30, 40 minutes, but it doesn't seem to be getting that hot. It's relatively relaxed down there. My FJ09 does get quite warm after a little while in these urban environments, and any inline 4 engine that I've ever ridden is very unhappy with being lugged around. It wants to be moving. But this SV650, highway, back roads, urban settings, it is happy to do anything that you want. if I had space in my garage or in my parking area at my place for an SV650, if I could afford to have one, I think I would, honestly. Just knowing the history of the bike and the people that have them. I mean, one of the riders in our little friends group, she has the SV650 fairinged version, and Jay, before he had the FJ09, he also had the SV650 fairinged version as well. I can't quite remember the year of it, but both him and Chris love these bikes, and Chris, I think, has said that it might be her forever, like one of her forever bikes. Like, she's going to try and have it as long as she can, just because of how awesome it is. She's had really no issues with it, other than a little mishap that happens with hers when it's trying to find neutral. Sometimes it doesn't want to do that so easily, but it's a little bit older and it has some mileage on it, so that could be just part of it. Maybe the neutral sending spring or something like that is just a little bit backed out or needs to be adjusted or something like that. It's just, she said it's hard to find neutral, I think it was, or sometimes to even get it to fall down into first gear. But other than that, she's had no issues. The last thing I'll talk about, I think, is going to be suspension. There is no adjustability in the forks, and I think there's 7 steps of preload in the rear, but that's all you can do. Suspension feels fine for what it is. Slightly stiff, but that's in a good way. You don't have a ton of ground clearance here. It's not a sport tour of any kind. It is just your average naked street bike, and I think the suspension setup feels really good for what it is. It hasn't bottomed out over anything as of yet. I mean, our streets here in Nova Scotia are pretty shit, and so far I've hit a couple of bumps and whoops, and it handles it just fine, soaks it right up. I know some people that really do up the suspension, and I think Jay's, the S model, like the more sporty one, and Chris's, I think they actually do have adjustment in the forks. But as it stands, pretty good, I must say. So guys, that wraps up my review of the 2025 Suzuki SV650. I will give you guys a walk around of the bike here at the end of the video. I will give you a startup sound, and when I release this, I will also release right after it just a video of the sound of the bike. I'll hook up the audio recorder in the back of under the seat. I hope there's some room back there for me to do so, and I will get just a pure audio sound or audio video of the bike. So that's everything for me, guys. If you can get yourself an SV650, you will not be disappointed in the slightest. All right, everyone, take it easy on the road. Keep the 2 wheels down. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. There it is, Suzuki's SV650. What a fun bike. Oh my God. Every time I demo something like this, I'm always so sad when I have to take it back, because man, I wish I could own it all. This guy is awesome. I will say, they have a multitude of colors for the SV650. While I love blue, because it is actually one of my favorite colors, this might be too much blue, just for me. But I love the exposed frame. The bike is so simple. Oh my God, you can do everything to it right there. You don't got to do much to take it apart to do anything major on it. So cool. Start up that little display. Didn't really talk about it. You got yourself kilometers an hour right in the middle. You got your revs right at the top there. You got a clock. You have a gear position indicator. Your heat is over on that side. Then you got your ranges. You got range 188 kilometers left on this tank. There's trip A, trip B, something. And then your odometer. We're at 227 kilometers. And then that's pretty much it. And hey, do you need anything more? I don't think so. I think it's all you need. No modes here, just what the bike has. Straight up. Chugga, 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 chugga. Time for another rip. Go for it. Delightful.